Welcome to the Carlson Building Maintenance Employee Workplace Safety Training. Throughout this video, we will ask you to follow along with your employee checklist. Please place a check mark next to the topics we will discuss during this video. The purpose of this video is not to cover every detail regarding safety in the workplace, but rather to highlight the most relevant safety topics that we have learned from our years of experience. These topics affect both you, our employee, as well as the client we serve. As we do our work, it is very important to warn others of the existing trip and fall hazards. These type of accidents are very common in work areas. To follow correct protocol, simply place the correct yellow or orange safety cones to clearly communicate the existence of hazards. The proper way of marking trip hazards include mark work areas with cones, cover course with rugs or signs, ensure that no trip hazard exists, and walkways are clear. The unsafe practices include trip hazard exist, no warning signs, and extension cords that interfere with aisles or walkways. When cleaning entryways, the safe practices include roll up rugs and move to the side, mark rugs with cones, place wet floor signs. The unsafe practices include carpets left in entryway or walkway, no warning signs, and customer trip hazard exist. When moving a rug or mat to clean the floor, the safe practices include roll up rugs and move to the side, place rugs under cooler when possible, mark rugs with cones, place wet floor signs. The unsafe practices include carpets left in entryway or walkway, no warning signs, and customer trip hazard exists. When performing carpet cleaning using the dry encapsulation method, it is very important to place cones around the work area. The dry encapsulation process uses less moisture than a typical carpet cleaning, but there is still some moisture present in the process. This moisture presents a potential trip and fall hazard for anyone transitioning from the carpet to the hard surface. The safe practices for carpet encapsulation include eliminating slip, trip, and fall hazards, use a dry foam encapsulation process, and proper marking of area using warning signs. The unsafe practices include water streaks from carpet to tile, no warning signs, no dry mopping, slip, trip, and fall hazard exists. Carlson Building Maintenance provides all employees with highly visible work vests along with the employee identification badges. Both of these items are to be worn for the entire duration of the work shifts. Following these expectations helps the store employees and customers identify you as part of the Carlson cleaning crew. Employees should also wear a black or dark blue shirt under the work vest as shown in the photo. The acceptable uniform includes wear the high visibility Carlson vest provided. Choose an undershirt that is not marked with logos. Long pants are required and closed-toe shoes required. The unacceptable work uniform includes not wearing Carlson vest, t-shirt with logos or no sleeves, sandals or other open-toed shoes, headphones, or hats. When performing project work and floor cleaning, make sure to properly mark the work area with safety cones. Additional precaution can be taken by blocking aisles with red or yellow caution tape. This helps ensure the safety of other store employees and customers. Using personal protective equipment properly includes the use of hearing protection for loud activities, use of safety goggles when handling chemicals, use of gloves when handling chemicals, use of filtering mask for dust during activities like buffing, use of stripping boots when stripping. Improper use of personal protective equipment includes not using personal protective equipment, refusal to use personal protective equipment, and wearing protective equipment improperly. It will be important to follow the recommendations outlined in the MSDS safety folder, which is available at your worksite. These recommendations will give details about when and how to use the personal protective equipment. If the MSDS folder is not available or missing from your worksite, please contact your supervisor immediately so one can be provided for you. The classification of safety guidelines are explained by color. Blue is a health hazard with ratings 0 through 4. A rating of 0 indicates no health hazard. 1. Can cause significant irritation. 2. Can cause temporary incapacitation or residual injury. 3. Can cause serious or permanent injury. And 4. Can be lethal. Red is a flammability hazard. 0. Will not burn. 1. Must be preheated before ignition can occur. 2. Must be heated or high ambient temperature to burn. 3. Can be ignited under almost all ambient temperatures. 4. Will vaporize and readily burn at normal temperatures. White is a special hazard. ALK, alkaline. Acid, acidic. COR, corrosive. OX, oxidizing. C symbol for radioactive. W with a strike through reacts violently or explosively with water. W with a strike through followed by OX reacts violently or explosively with water and oxidizing. Yellow is an instability hazard. 0. Stable. 1. Normally stable, high temperatures make it unstable. 2. Violent chemical change at high temperatures or pressure. 3. May explode at high temperature or shock. 4. May explode at normal temperatures and pressure. All of our on-site floor cleaning equipment is equipped with speed controls similar to the image on your screen. Keeping the speed of the machine at a reasonable level while cleaning will help you keep control of the machine and help prevent damages to the store floorboards, shelving, refrigerators, and store products. Operating machines at an unsafe speed can also put store employees and customers at danger of being run over or bumped into. All machinery and equipment is expected to be operated at a reasonable speed. To prevent store damage, you should stay in control by limiting speed, look ahead for obstacles, move obstacles ahead of time, navigate corners with care, and avoid sudden swerving. The unsafe practices include being out of control, speed controls on high, running into objects, and swerving to avoid obstacles. When performing job duties, always make sure to mark the designated work area with highly visible yellow cones or caution signs. These items should be visible to every person passing by the work area. If your job site does not have the proper number of cones or caution signs, please contact your supervisor immediately in order to receive the proper signage. When placing work area signage, safe practices include caution cones at the end of the aisles, caution cones visible in large areas, signage precedes the work, signage moves to the work area. Unsafe practices when placing work signage include missing caution cones at the end of the aisles, no visible caution cones in large areas, signage left behind as work area moves, and signage that creates potential slip and fall hazards. When using the floor scrubber, it is important to look back at your work after each pass. You will be identifying any areas with water streaks. Water streaks can be due to the following: worn out squeegee, blocked or malfunctioning vacuum. When working with floor scrubbers, safe practices include marking entire area with wet floor signs, using enough signs in large areas so that they are visible, dry mopping as soon as possible to avoid streaks, ensure that no slip hazards exist. The unsafe practices when working with floor scrubbers include leaving streaks of water, no dry mopping, no warning signs, and leaving wet areas unattended or unfinished without signage. Proper workplace safety begins in our equipment room. These areas are shared with store employees and should always be kept clean, organized, and free of hazards. When practicing safe housekeeping, employees should eliminate slip, trip, and fall hazards, keep storage areas organized, help keep employees safe. Unsafe housekeeping includes the presence of slip, trip, and fall hazards, chemical spills, and can lead to store personnel injuries. Our floor burnishers, sometimes referred to as buffers, operate on propane. Propane gas can be a safety hazard if not dealt with properly. Safe practices when working with propane include keep cylinders in lockers, Be sure storage is locked. Keep valves closed on equipment when not in use, and no propane storage inside of stores. Unsafe practices when working with propane include storing cylinders where they can be struck by equipment, leaving valves on when not in use, leaving tanks on equipment at end of shift. Some of your job responsibilities may include cleaning underneath large and heavy carpets. When dealing with these large objects, employees should use the provided cart to prevent back injury. If a cart option is not available at your worksite, please contact your supervisor immediately so one can be provided. Proper back injury prevention includes team lifting, get help when possible, lift one end at a time onto cart, use proper lifting techniques such as bend at the knees, have a good footing and balance, lifting using your legs. Unsafe practices that can lead to back injury include not asking for help, back bent over the lift, no bend of knees, and having the cart too far away. Some work elements are large, heavy, and difficult to move or lift. Proper lifting techniques include team lifting, get help when possible, use proper lifting techniques such as bend at the knees, have a good footing and balance, and lift using your legs. Improper lifting techniques include not asking for help, back bent over the lift, and no bend of knees. When accessing elevated supplies, safe practices include proper use of step stool or approved ladder to reach supplies, avoid climbing on racking, maintain good footing, balance, and contact when climbing up or down the step stool, avoid overreaching, ask for assistance with objects that can cause a loss of balance. Do not use step stools when folded up or leaning. Unsafe practices when accessing elevated supplies include use of buckets for standing on to reach supplies, climbing on racking, overreaching, using damaged step stools or unapproved ladders, carrying objects alone that can cause a loss of balance, and using step ladders when folded up or leaning. In the workplace, what is typically referred to as project work has additional safety hazards that employees should be aware of. When performing floor stripping and waxing, safe practices include eliminating entry points, involve store personnel, utilize warning signs, use danger tape, use displays and end caps, use floor stripping boots. Unsafe practices when performing floor stripping and waxing include aisles not blocked, no store personnel, no warning signs, missing danger tape, and no floor stripping boots. When performing project work and floor cleaning, make sure to properly mark the work area with safety cones. Additional precaution can be taken by blocking aisles with red or yellow caution tape. This helps ensure the safety of other store employees and customers. Safe practices when performing project work and floor cleaning include prepare and stage equipment, proper footwear, barricades in place, warn customers of hazards, and offer assistance. Unsafe practices when performing project work and floor cleaning include equipment not ready or prepared, no warning signs in use, improper footwear, and no assistance offered. Carlson employees are expected to utilize the employee break room for all breaks. If you are purchasing items from the sales floor, please pay for the items before consumption and always keep your receipt available. Never leave the store before paying for items. Again, the safe practices include pay for items prior to use or consumption, keep proof of purchase receipt available. Failure to comply with the safe practices or taking items without purchase or proof of receipt may result in termination and shoplifting charges from the store. Thank you for listening. This concludes the Carlson Building Maintenance Employee Workplace Safety video. Please remember to sign and date your checklist and turn in to your supervisor.